And welcome back to Jenna Jane's Yard. And this will be September 9th, 2025. The end of summer and beginning of fall time as of right now. So let's take a cruise through the yard. Just let me properly adjust a few things here. Here we go. We're coming out of the garage and we're going, let me see, we're north. This will be the southwest side. So, back in May, I broke my ankle over the 4th of July weekend. I got Lyme disease. I got bit by a deer tick. And that was not enjoyable. So, let's take a little walk here in the front. And we're going to see how our little trees are doing. My freak trees are doing just fine. And let me see, we're up in the front. These guys I planted about 5 years ago. And now I can't even finish getting them up on the screen anymore here on the phone. They're at about 7 feet tall. So these guys are looking really awesome. These guys I planted first during COVID. And the tallest one is about 7, maybe 8 feet tall. So they're going pretty good. And just behind, I got baby red pines. Let's see if I can adjust that for you. Move my camera a little bit. I got a couple right in here. And they're about 2 years old. Okay, putting the camera back on. Well, I'll keep the camera off to the side a bit. Then we'll go check out the other side of the front yard here. And I got lilies of the valley. And some of them, as you can tell in the back, were all brown and dead, so I just mowed them down yesterday. But here in the front, there we go. That's one baby pine. That's the other one. So these guys are about 2 years old. And then I got 5 over here And like I said, they're 2 years old. There's one ray on the end. So I should have 2 on that side of the oak, and I should have 3 over on this side. It was cold actually the last couple days, and today is probably the first nice day that we're having. So these baby pines, forgive me, I'm trying to mount the camera back. Okay, so I cleaned these out. These baby pines are about 2 years old, and like I said, I mowed some of the lilies of the valley down yesterday to clean out all the brown ones, dead ones already. Now, if I can go in here, right straight ahead, I planted 5, I think, baby red pines, and I left it grow. Now I'm not going to go in there anymore because now I got about 10 baby oak trees growing right there. So I'm going to leave that go and see how it goes in the next couple of years. Okay, now we're going to take a little walk here where I mowed the lilies of the valley. So this is actually my front woods on the the west side. So I can only come in here this time of the year because I don't like stepping on the lilies. Now I'll go into the front woods right in front of our house. That's where we're going right now. And those few baby pines that I showed you are right there. You can see them right against that railroad tie, just barely popping their head. And then I got a couple more right in there in the center, right by my little sprinkler. So I got about 4 in that area. Excuse me. So now we're in the front woods, right by the toilets. There we are. Now I'm going to take the camera off the mount, and we're going to look right here on the ground. There we go. And I should have 2, 3, 4 baby red pines that I planted from the DNR, and I think I got 2 extra growing that just popped up. Okay, so this is what it looks like inside the woods, actually, in the front woods. I think this is probably the first video that I made coming in here. Surprising I never did this before. Problem is, now I gotta back out. Because now all my equipment here is a little bit bigger. So enjoy the front view while I'm backing out. Okay, we're on the southwest side, and we're gonna go back into the backwoods. Yeah, my fire pit. It was empty, but then I just moved everything so I can mow the grass around the fire pit. So I got a lot of logs I can burn. That's gonna last me all winter. So that'll be a good thing. Okay, now we're coming up on the property line. What me and Tamala the cat call Catnip Row. I just mowed this grass yesterday. I gotta de-weed it yet. Now over here, let me take the camera off. You can look right in here. These are the baby red pines from 2 years ago. This wasn't pretty much an empty area. And then you can see that one scraggly jack pine. That one looked like it was dying 2 years ago. So this summer it actually really came back to life. So I'm kind of glad on that one. Alright, let's mosey on down. I'll keep the camera on this kind of an angle here. And this is a section where I actually have to de-weed it, as you can actually tell. But there's definitely a lot of growth. Now, here, right in here, they actually really grew, and they actually, how do I say that, filled out nicely. So I got about 5 baby jack pine, red pines on here, and then right straight ahead, that would be the pear tree, and I don't see any pears on the ground, which I thought was weird so far, but it might be a little early yet. And if you notice, the grass is really matted down right here, so this is where the deer have been sleeping all summer. Okay, let's mosey on. Now you can probably tell that the grass is all matted down, and I see I got baby oaks sprouting up here in the process, so that's pretty cool. Alright, now we're approaching Janet's, what we call the outhouse area. There was an outhouse here back in the 60s when they built the house. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, I'm starting to change color already on this maple. Okay, so let's go deeper in the woods. When I was back here, I mowed the woods here too. Now here, for an example, this is what I call our gully. I planted about 20 red pines in here, and then after I cleaned it out, I got about 10 oak trees right there growing with them, all up and right in here. So I'm letting this grow wild, and I know I'm going to get locusts, and I know I'm going to get cherry trees in here, choke cherries, that is. Alright, so back out of here. And then we're going to finish going into the woods. And now we're coming in on the northwest corner. Just mowed this as well yesterday, so I can tell where I'm driving. And if you want, we'll go down the middle path too. I got a little path in the middle of the woods. We can take that on the way, or double back. Okay, now we're on the northeast corner. And now you can see that we're coming out of the woods right now. But we're going to go up the center path. Now, up in here, I planted way up on the top of the hill, right by the edge of the woods in the yard. I planted, I'd say about 10 red pines 2 years ago. They're growing nice. We'll see them when we get out in the backyard. And then oaks started growing up. So, and I noticed that I had nothing but locusts growing here, so I mowed them down yesterday and kept the oaks. Now, we're going to go back up. And we were back at the northwest corner. We're going to go back down where we just came from on the property line. And for the tapers out there that are looking at my little nerd stats, right now I'm using a Sennheiser ME66s, I prefer them, into Sound Devices Mix Pre 6. And for the video, I'm coming out at Mix Pre 6 with a UCA 202 from Behringer, USB interface, and right into my OnePlus 12 phone. Okay, back to the nature. We are coming out of the woods. We're coming back into my backyard, Janet Jane's backyard. Right here, well, here, I'll just do this. Right here I had a bird feeder and a water dish for the deer, and I had a bird feeder for the birds, obviously. And that was a pretty popular hot spot for the birds and the squirrels. And actually we caught a baby fawn jumping up and drinking out of the water, and that was pretty exciting, but I couldn't get it on camera, of course. As soon as they do that, then they out like birds, they just fly. I just mowed backyard, and actually I used a lot of the mulch for up on the road. We actually had a lot of rain this summer. I was actually surprised that I used that much of my leaves and pine needles. And I started working on the bolt port that we use for storage. I put all my sprinklers and I picked up all my hoses yesterday. So I'm no longer going to be watering the trees this year. All right. Let's see what else we got. I think that's about it. I got one bird feeder up here. I'll probably be tearing that down in a couple weeks. I took the one down in the backyard, in the backwoods. I took that down yesterday. It felt, somebody knocked it down. Oh, I didn't show you about my stray trees yet either. We'll get back up there. No big deal. Coming back up here at a pear tree, and we're back into the outhouse area, and we're going to come out my little secret entrance. I don't think I ever taken you guys on this little road before. We come up right behind the cement building and behind the house. And yeah, it's the junk pile area, that's for sure. Right in here. This is actually beautiful. Take the camera off. Set my emergency brake here. Okay. Right in here. there was nothing but a couple like locust trees here last year, and I just dug a little hole, and I got myself in there, and then I had a fallen tree I just drug out right in there, and I planted, well, from when I showed you over here up the trail, I planted about 10 or 15 up in here. Baby red pines. You can see there should be 4 or 5 of them here, right here in this area. But anyways, I noticed I got, look at the oaks that are just sprouting up from this summer. Well, that I thought was pretty cool. All right. And me and a neighbor, we agreed. I built a little mulch row with nothing but scrap, some wood, but now I think it's mostly just dirt where all the high weeds are and tall grass. I just made that to stop some of the erosion, to keep it the natural effect of the gully. And we have a little opening down here so I can go in his yard, visit and socialize every now and then. And he just built a garden this year, so we were pecking around. I helped him a few times and watched him work when I had a broken ankle. Yeah, he was getting swamped by the deer. Actually, the deer were going after his pumpkins and all that, and he had it all fenced off, buried fence underneath the ground, and somehow his pumpkin plants were actually going over through the fence and growing, and the deer were going after those. All right, so that's about it. We'll take one quick run from the front yard, or to the front yard. There, we'll take our new path through the lilies of the valley. Then we'll come out in the ditch. And here we are. We went through the whole yard and a little bit extra. Well, this is September 9th, 2025 in Janet Jane's yard. And I'll probably end up mulching and picking up oak leaves and pine needles now, probably about 6 times from now until November. And then we'll call her quits and get ready for winter. I got a few jobs here. I got to take the sprinklers down. I forgot one yesterday. Looks like I can do some pruning as well. Can't see the driveway anymore. And look who's waiting for me. Tama! No! You're on camera. Right by the front step. Aww. You want a close-up? Okay. And there's Tamala. 2 years ago he was a stray cat. Last year he became my assistant and hasn't left. So that's Tamala. Oh. That's Tamala, September 9th, 2025 in Janet Jane's yard. Alright, you guys have a good day. See you next time.